violence that they're seeing daily via the news and social media.
I thought that was your job. That's why I hire you.
That's another conversation.
Hire a lot of good psychologists. I know that's a big question.
And I tell you, I asked that question because I know your passion for young people.
So I better get the answer right.
So, no, you just better speak from the heart, because that's where it comes from.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of ways to answer that question, I guess. First off, I would say we have a summer school, actually involved in 2 summer schools. There's about 60 kids. So after I woke up at 5 o'clock and saw the Facebook video live stream of the shooting of and the girlfriend was live streaming. And I watched CNN, and then I started texting our staff that's working with the young people. And I said, make sure you have a conversation. They're all going to a camp for the day. And he said, we got to have a conversation with all of the young people and really assess where they're at. And if need be, just, do a circle and have that conversation. I didn't go on the trip, but it sounded to me that 50% were aware and 50% weren't aware. The next day when I was with them, I did my own assessment. And that's really what I saw. I saw 50% kind of were aware and were starting to form opinions, and the other 50% weren't. But the common thread was everybody felt powerless. And so I think the challenge for myself and for the folks that work with these young people was to empower them. The ones that weren't really aware, they just immediately felt like there was nothing that they could do about anything that was happening. So that's really why they weren't actually paying attention to that particular tragedy. And the ones that were aware were definitely just verbalizing that they didn't have a sense of power to make change or to affect police violence. And so for starters, on the social media thing, we went through, how do you empower yourself? And the mayor mentioned education. I would say education was a big piece because you have to understand what the issues are. You have to understand the power dynamic. So we talked about why education was important and that we have to actually seek the education. We have to know who the power players are. Who are the power players in the city of New Haven? We had to have that conversation. We had to have a conversation about the chief and the mayor and the state reps. And who are your alders and what do they do? And how do you actually engage them? Because that became important. We talked about voting. We had to just deal with the frustration of being black and being young. And I just think that the young people have to have a voice. And it has to start there. So we have to assess and make sure that they have voice. A big piece that I feel that we need to do is just create safe spaces, always. So that happens in the schools. We really need to have a conversation with the public schools about, when this happens, are we allowed to talk about it? I know last year we had a school that the principal said, no, we're not going to talk about that. Something happens out in the community, we're not going to talk about that. So how do we provide a safe space in the school so kids can talk about it? We have to, I think, do what we are doing in the city of New Haven through Mayor Harp, and that's create more places for young people to hang out. So we're trying to do the escape. We're trying to make sure that we have kids that are homeless actually have a safe space. We try to empower those youth development buildings that they have some sustainability. And I just think that we need to be intentional as a community to break down in New Haven especially, at least since I've been here, I feel it all the time, that I belong to a block or I belong to a neighborhood, and really get young people to feel like they actually belong to a community. And so I actually think, we haven't said it since the beginning, but I actually think Black Lives Matter is a very empowering thing because it gives voice. And even if it's just, everybody has to, realize change in their own way. So for young people, if they can attach to that and they have voice through that, and if it means lying down in the street or stop and try, that's empowering, that's giving voice. And what we just need to do is we need to also teach each other what are the other ways to empower, whether it be through getting Robin to pass a bill that